Hey everybody, hope you're doing pretty well, and thanks for everyone checking out my videos once again, and even thanks a little bit more to those that subscribe to my videos and hit that notification bell. No, I'm just kidding. I understand we all have very busy lives, and you'll watch my videos when you have time. Today we're going to be talking about a new game on the Hive platform that I featured a little bit in some of my live streams on Splinterlands TV, and I've talked about a little bit more in other videos, but we haven't really done a video just about the game because I was still learning about it and because it was kind of new and they closed signups the day before and now it's open again, but we'll go ahead and check it out. This game is called Terracore. Now Terracore, we're going to go ahead here and we're going to try to back out of this screen and we're going to go to the home page just so you can see it. Is a new project that was done by, let me make sure I get his name right from going over here, Crypto Zero Gnome. Now he's pretty active in the Hive blockchain. He has made, I think, a couple other projects. I should probably look into him a little harder, but I kind of forgot to do that before I made this video. So maybe we'll do that in the next follow-up. But basically, he's helping his development of this game by using some of the AI platforms that are out there. So he knows how to use the AI platforms enough and has found one that he may be paying for certain access to help get some of this amazing artwork that is just really stellar when it comes to like space exploration and things like that. Now the core of Terracore is once you connect into the game, it does cost 20 Hive currently to buy. There are no referral links at this point in this game, so I'm not going to have a referral link, but I will have a link to the game if you want to check it out. They do have a Discord where you can talk to them and even work with them and give them ideas for the game, but we'll get into it so you can basically see what's going on. It reminds me a little bit of a clicker game while at the same time reminding me of the old school Mafia Wars games or any of those other type of games, but with some really cool AI artwork and some very futuristic plans for turning this game into much more. So you are your character. Your character can build up their favor, their engineering, their damage, their defense, and their stash size. Now, the cost for each of these things to go up are 1 scrap to increase stash size, 1 scrap to increase favor, and then the engineering, damage, and defense go up by certain amount of scrap cost. Once you've paid 20 Hive to get into the game, you automatically start earning scrap. It just starts coming into your wallet. But at any moment, another player can attack you and take a chunk or all of what is in your stash. Your stash size here determines how high this number can go when you're idle, but the game is active with people constantly hunting other players with good amounts. The most I've ever logged into, I think, was one time I had 3 out of my 14, and I'll show you when I go to the battle screen that I'm getting beat up as well, even though you might think like, wow, look, 50-50, 5, 16-16, and these big numbers. I'm not that far along in the game. Now, the scrap token started off really hot. You'll see here in the beginning of the game, when the game was brand new, it was trading for over 2 Hive for a little while. And then as the game got a little bit more popular, things got a little bit more expensive. Some of the guys that were earning a lot started to sell, and now we're down here at a much lower price. There's a pretty big bid here at 0.116. And that's followed up here, the depth isn't too bad on the buy side here. You can see like lots of people are willing to buy it down here this cheap. And there is a decent amount to sell through before we would have to go ahead and get anywhere back near that 2 Hive price. Now, how much should this token be worth? That's debatable. I don't really have a way to price it yet, but we will talk about some of the use cases and the things that they're doing to make it a lot better. So the token, it does get burned now whenever you do these upgrades. So they added that into the game. So there is some token burning. And the basic core premise of the game right now is you earn your tokens, you claim them, you increase these stats, you go out to the battle screen, and you battle people. Now you can see recently I hit Slay and I stole 1.3 tokens from him. but I got hit by, Night Hunter, JD Moriarty, who's a pretty famous Hive user. He's playing this game. We got Vins and Hacky. These people are all strong enough to beat me up and take 1.4, 1.6. This is while I was mostly away. If I step away from the game for a while, since I have an engineering 5, I do build up a token. And that hour I'm away, do another thing. Somebody comes, they beat me up, and they take it. As you can see here, when you fight people, you're going to want to look at these main functions, and they have a function that you cannot see to help avoid your attack. You'll usually want to do a brand new refresh right before you do your attack, because you're not the only people targeting these people. We'll try to beat this guy right here because my 50-50 should beat a 40-40, and he only has 2.4 favor, so I'm just guessing he doesn't have a very big stash because of that. We'll see how that fight goes through. It went through. I stole almost a whole token from him. Now, after you've attacked somebody, you do have a few seconds of immunity where you can't be attacked back, so that this one token I just stole can't be taken away right away. I'm sorry. But I either have to go back to my stash and withdraw it, or I have to go ahead and continue fighting. Now, I have another battle left, so we'll do another example here. I'll hit a refresh. We got a 30-30 with a 1.4. Now, normally, I'd look down the map and try to find one better, but really 1.4 tokens in a target is a pretty good number. 2 or 3 would be amazing, but if it's over 1, I'll just usually attack them. And there you see I got 0.86. Now, one of the things I don't perfectly understand is why I get 0.86 and why sometimes I get the whole token amount. I think that has to do with the crit strike ability, and I'm going to try to learn the details of this game. I just haven't had enough time to really spend time in the Discord talking to people about it to figure it out. So now we're going to go out. We're going to see that now, as I had almost no tokens before, with those 2 battles, I have almost 2 tokens. It says I have 5 claims left, so I'll hit claim. So the way this works is you generate 1 attack every 4 hours, and you can do up to 5 claims a day. So this is why you can't just sit here and be like, okay, let me wait until this gets to 0.001 and claim and claim and claim. So you have to be kind of strategic with your claims. Should you use all 5 in a day? Yes, that would be the most efficient way to get the most money that you can. But, you only get an attack every 4 hours. So, I usually come back and I only attack when I have 2 or 3 attacks. And then I'll just randomly check in every once in a while and do an extra claim if I'm up near a token or so. But that's because I have engineering of 5, and because I think that other people will be targets until I get to about 1 token. After I'm over 1 token, just like I did on the battle, I'm probably going to get hit pretty hard. So, you could probably let this charge up a little bit. Now, obviously, when you first start the game, you might not want to worry about that as much and just claim when it's at a lower number that makes more sense to you, like even 0.1. Because in the beginning of the game, you're just trying to get your first scrap token so that you can do an upgrade. Now, the other secret thing about your stash size and why you might want to get a big stash size is not only does this allow you to theoretically get more coins, like let's say magically I was fighting and somebody came up that had 20 coins that I could beat and steal all 20 of his coins. Well, my stash can't hold 20 coins, so I'd only get 14. To up this, you have to put a token in, and it's called staking the token. The interesting thing about this, though, there's no minus button, so it is not, really super noticeable. But we'll go ahead and stake 1 token for an example here. And one of these numbers on the bottom is going to get bigger and better. So you're going to see. Now, it might take a moment for it to refresh, but I'll just give it away now. Once that stake updates once this updates to 15, there we go. We saw it. This one went from 0.33 to 0.35 dodge percentage. So if you pull this up high enough, you have a chance to just completely dodge attackers who come into you. Now, the favor gives you a chance to do a crit strike. Now, the one thing that I would say they need to add, what does a crit chance, what does critting somebody do? Is that when I get all of their tokens, or does that actually let me beat somebody with a higher damage or defense than me? I haven't been able to figure out that fully, and this isn't a deep dive video. If you guys want a deep dive video, I'm going to see how this one does, and I'll try to find out some of these other facts later on. Now, engineering increases this mine rate, so the higher engineering, the faster you'll mine coins. But if you're mining coins really, really fast and you don't have a good defense, you're just going to get attacked and beat up all the time. Of course, you could take your defense kind of low and increase your stash size, but there is some give and take there. Like my defense is currently at 50, 25 coins is only going to take it up to 10 because these go up in tens. Same thing here, this is only going to go up by 1 to 6, but stash size, 25 coins would take me from 15 to what, 20? It would more than double my dodge percent chance. But is this still too low to even consider that? So maybe for a little while my coins should go into favor in stash so I get my crit chance up and my dodge chance up. Or I could just keep charging up and trying to increase these. Now, obviously, if you go to the marketplace, there are some cheap coins for sale, but not super large amounts. I guess you got one guy here selling 150 and one guy here selling 89. There's a guy here selling 70, so there are some big ones. Here's the biggest one here with a 230. Oh, and somebody up here has 490 tokens for sale, but up here at the 0.2 price. So, you know, there's definitely, if you want to come into the game, you want to spend the 20 Hive to get into the game, and you decide you want to kind of jump ahead and get into it, you could come here and buy up these tokens pretty cheaply, pay out some of the early investors a little bit of Hive, and then get your stats up quite quickly. Now, what's coming to the game? So there's another planet coming. And basically, you can contribute scraps. This is where you get your favor number, which increases your crit chance. And we'll go ahead and throw one in there, and you'll see this number go up. And basically, once we've contributed enough of this to Oceania, the Oceania land will open. When you go to Oceania, there's going to the same stats that you have here on the starting planet will do better for you when it comes to your mining rate. So basically, if you can go to Oceania, you're going to be able to go ahead and mine coins faster. And that is where they're going to introduce their first boss fight. So this is from the newest devlog. They are going to have a boss fight system where you can earn NFTs, and he talks a little bit about some future plans. Terracore is on the Hive blockchain. I'll have a link to their Hive blog. I do suggest you follow it and you put it on your favorites if you are interested in learning what's going on in the game. So this is just a quick hello, and then he says in the week ahead, he has a lot of suggestions. He's working on some UI fixes. Do remember at this point, this is a one dev game. If he gets a lot of players coming in and a lot of money, he could hire an assistant dev to help him. But at the same time, he has ambitions to more utilize some AI tools to keep the team small so that maybe, he doesn't have to worry about making as much money to keep this game growing and going forward. These are some of the NFTs he's going to sell. So again, from what I understand, a lot of this artwork is AI generated. Yes, I love Nate from Splinterlands, but not having to pay him and his giant team to create your NFTs does create the ability for you to keep a newer project going, and then maybe you'd have to decide if you wanted to change things like that. Here's a ship that they designed. Here is a character holding a gun. I don't know if you got this NFT, what that would mean. Would you get the gun, or if this is just an artwork that they're working into the game? This is kind of an interesting disc door. I don't know exactly what that would be. This is obviously a workbench from the look of it. And as you can see here, he has a mock-up of how this would look in their NFT marketplace. So you've got here, this guy here holding the gun. It looks like what he does is he adds a 0.45 to your attack. If you have the workbench here, you get, you get some sword of 12 and you get attack and battle defense. Maybe this is boss fight attack as well here. you know, and then this gives you these stats. This one here gives you these stats, and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to earn these NFTs by fighting the bosses and helping defeat them, and then there will be a marketplace for you to want to buy and sell them. So picture kind of the Splinter Forge boss battle system, but built into this game as well, that on the backside still has the mining game plus the inner battle between us all for our own tokens. Plus, he's going to add in a boss phage. Here's where he says the NFTs will be acquired from fighting world bosses. A new luck stat will be introduced to give you a better chance of finding the NFT. That's going to be another area where you can see the token being burned or being staked into. Possible NFT rewards for leaderboards and things like that. The types are going to be avatars, ammos, weapons, tools, and a ship. Items can roll multiple stats based on rarity and have unique stats rolled on every single item. So this means that when you're looking through this, you might see here you have the workbench here. It has 3 stats, and the workbench up here only has 2 stats. So this is a lower uncommon item, and this one down here is a rare item. So it gets an additional stat roll. At the same time, there would be a legendary one that maybe this same workbench would give you stats to 4 different things. This is, you know, at least an interesting system they have going on for the idea of the loot and the idea that you're going to want better loot as you progress through the game, because it's just going to do more for you within the game. So it's definitely, you know, to me, I like a system like that. That's all he dropped in this dev note. I did say he does have an active page here, as you can see. He's posting, well, this is a pinned one, that the alpha from a month ago, but, you know, about once a week he comes with his Terra devlog. This was the one where they introduced the burning. He also, you know, showed us some more artwork here. And then back here, he had one here where he was talking about some of the battlegrounds and balances that they were doing. He also broke down, you know, a stake scrap and how its function in defense and toughness. This was something that he did because I had talked to him and I told him, you know, when I look at my character, I see no real reason to increase my stash size. I never can get 15 tokens, never. So why do I need to make it bigger? Sure, it lets this go up higher, but as soon as this gets to like 1 or 2, I'm going to get pummeled by some, you know, really high damage guy. He's going to steal my coins. So I had asked him if maybe having the stash, you know, if I had 15 here, maybe that meant that I could protect 2 coins. So when you attacked me, no matter what, as low as you could push me down was 2. He didn't go with that idea. Instead, he went with an idea to give it a second functionality, and that's just dodge percentage. But still, the dev is allowing people to talk to them and give him ideas about stuff. The one other thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about exploring and going to Oceania, you'll see here you do get an idea of how many people are playing the game. So we're up to 740 people playing. You get a good count of the circulating supply of scrap, the percentage of it that is currently staked into either weapons and or games, Oceania and or stashes. And then right here you see scraps burned. This is all the scrap that has been burned so far. So this kind of helps their token. You know, there's lots of sinks for it. There's lots of places you need to put it. And there's lots of reasons to want to get more of it if you want to be the king of the hill. Now, the question is, can enough people want to play this game and have fun in this game and talk about this game to matter? That'll be, you know, it's kind of yet to be seen. I do definitely want to see, you know, if a lot of you are interested in something like this. 20 Hive, that might be a little steep for some people. I hope he pays attention to the price of Hive and lowers the entry fee if like Hive goes on a big run. In the bull run, if we have, you know, $2 Hive, 20 Hive would be a $40 entry fee into this game. But, you know, right now Hive's been staying around the same place. It's not really too much money. It's about $6 to $7 for 20 Hive. So it's not too bad. I think we're going to end it there. We'll take one more look back here. And you know, if you don't get any favor, if you decide not to donate into Oceania, then you won't be able to go to Oceania when it unlocks. Now, we don't have set numbers, and we're still a far way from unlocking this $500,000, 500,000 scrap needed to fund the exploration of Oceania. But it'll be interesting to see if what kind of favor number you end up needing to join. With only 740 people in here, it's going to take us a long time to get to this number. But if we can get more people playing, then maybe we can get there sooner than later. All right, everybody. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you take a look at Terracore. It is, pretty good to support other games in the Hive ecosystem as they try to grow, because if we can get more games within the Hive ecosystem popular and working, we might be able to help support a higher price of Hive, and a higher price of Hive does indirectly support a higher price of Splinterlands assets. The reason I say that is kind of indirectly is because if I start earning more money for posting on Hive, I'm going to have more money to invest into the Splinterlands because I'm a fan of Splinterlands. Also, the Splinterlands has their big account, and they're going to be able to give out even bigger votes to their fans than they give today, at least in monetary value, when Hive is at a higher price. All right, guys. Thanks. Goodbye.